Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Jupiter, Florida, looking at another gorgeous model home by Devasta Homes. This one is called the Madeira. Now, starting on the exterior, you see that we have the metal roof. This straight ahead will be converted to your garage, and then you have an additional single car garage right over here to the left. So you're gonna see that this plan is the epitome of multi-gen living. In other words, if you have more than 2 adults living inside of this house, this is gonna be the perfect place for you. Now, on top of that, you are gonna have the stucco along with the siding, plenty of driveway space available that you can take advantage of. And when that is converted and put on the market, you are going to want to take advantage. Now, getting you inside of this courtroom, or courtyard rather, you are going to see that you have multiple access points. So you have your French doors right over here to the left, and then the double front door with the privacy glass. So right here, you are going to have 20-foot covered front porch ceilings that you can take advantage of. You have the additional picture windows right above that, bringing in some more natural light. And then let's get you inside so you can see this beauty. All right. So immediately whenever you walk in, you see that you have the tray ceilings in your foyer. You do have the exposed beams with your beautiful light fixtures, but right over here to the right, you are going to have your formal dining. So you have the coffered ceiling design. You got that wine wall right there with some additional cabinetry. You have this beautiful light fixture right above our dining room table. And then right over here, you see you have your bar area. So perfect to serve your guests. Then you have the shaker cabinetry, but let me go ahead and show you the full scope of the dining area. So you see you have an 8-seating dining table. You already got your nice ladder right there, so you don't have to worry about that, and it's sliding as well. But I just love the fact that it's super open, ready to entertain, and that's what I'm talking about. You see it is raining a little bit right now, but let's get you in this great room. Look at this 20+ foot ceilings with the coffered ceiling design, recessed lights. You have that wagon wheel chandelier right there. Just set the tone immediately whenever you walk in here. Then you have the 10-foot sliders. That's going to lead you to your covered lanai. We'll get to that in just a second. But you see this accent wall continues all the way up to your ceiling. Really sleek design, love that. Now, as far as the flooring is concerned, you're gonna have that ceramic wood-like tile in here, very durable, extremely easy to clean. And then look at this. You see the full scope, so you can see straight ahead where we come in at. And then of course, the great room connects to our kitchen that you could take advantage of. Now, as we enter inside of here, you see the cabinetry along the island, the quartz countertops. You have the shaker cabinetry in here with the cabinet crowns, plenty of counter space available. And look at this. You see that you have the stainless steel appliances. Now, as far as the home itself, right? This is super open, but I talked about the multi-generational living. So let's say, for instance, if you have your in-laws living with you for a duration of time, maybe permanently, and if that's the case, you're gonna wanna take a peek at that back area. Make sure you stay tuned so we can see it. Okay, but before I get ahead of myself, let's make sure we cover the entire kitchen itself. So love the two-tone cabinetry that you get. You have that farmhouse sink inside of the island. You know, we talk about that as far as the sink being in the island, but it's becoming more and more common as time goes on. Of course, you know, trends come and go all the time, right? So, and it really just depends on your personal preference. If you choose a spec home, right, then that might limit your options compared to if you're building something from the ground up, or you get to choose your options at the design center. Now, as always, you know, we take a peek in our refrigerator. We have nothing in there, but you see how much space you still have available. Here's some additional counter space right here. Then of course that backsplash matching over here. So before we take a look over there to the right, I just want to make sure we see the perimeter of the house and make sure that it flows. So you have this breakfast nook area that you can take advantage of. You have your built-in seating along the wall right here. Let me know in the comments, do you like that, or would you prefer to eliminate that? Of course, that always is an option if you wanted to take away the chairs and just, you know, push that up against there and then use that as seating, you can do that. But if you wanted to use that as more of a nice little design to add some character to your house, you can do that. But it's extremely open and roomy. The ceramic wood-like tile continues this way. And then you have your full bath right over here. So you got your quartz countertops, sconce right there, nice adjustable mirror. The shower surround is going to continue all the way to the ceiling. Then of course you got your shower niche. So if you know anything about Devasta Homes, they do such a fantastic job of really their designs and their layouts itself. So just touring a couple of those. I really appreciate that. And I know you can as well. So now right here, this is going to be a perfect place for your towels if you're going out there to your backyard and taking a swim. As always, we'll go ahead and take a look at the backyard a little bit later on. Let's make sure we don't miss a thing. Now, before we continue, this is going to be your 6-burner grill, your range right above, or at least on the cooktop. Then inside of here, you got your framed cabinetry with the black hardware. In here, I love when I see stacked cabinetry. So that's the only addition I would make to this one. And that's of course personally, and you let me know if you agree or this is just fine. Now you have your butler's pantry continuing this way. This would be coming in from your utility room and your additional garage that's going to be converted. A lot of times they use it as the design center. They moved a lot of that out to convert this to a garage. So they get ready to put this put this on the market. So you got your wire racks inside of your pantry, plenty of space to work with to add some additional shelving. The quartz countertops continue. And then of course you'll have the drawer space as well as cabinetry. And that's all gonna have that soft close mechanism. Now heading into our laundry room, look at this. So you have your flat panel cabinetry with the black hardware continuing in here. You got your additional sink, plenty of space right here for an oversized washer and dryer if this won't do for you. Some additional cabinetry right above that. And then this would be that mudroom concept here. And of course, right here, we have some additional storage you can take advantage of. And then heading out here, I just want to show you the space of this. So this would of course be your 2-car garage. You have some additional area right there. If you wanted to add that golf cart, you can do so. This will all be converted. You probably most likely have the epoxy flooring in here, but that'll just give you the idea of the space in there. And of course, if you didn't want this particular model, then you can always build this one from scratch, choose your designs, and kind of go from there. Okay, so now our primary suite is over there to the right, but what I want to make sure you do, or at least we see first and foremost, is where I talk about the multi-generational living. So coming on this side, you have your shared bathroom right over here, quartz countertops, the flat panel cabinetry continues, but you do have a nice walk-in shower. Then that hexagon shower surround is going to continue all the way to the ceiling. Then you also have the hexagon shower floor down there. So this is very rare when we see 3 bedrooms downstairs. You know, we always typically, I'd say 60% of the time, you're going to have 2 bedrooms downstairs, if not the primary suite. And I get mixed comments about that as well, depending on where you're from and what you're used to. A lot of times folks love the primary bedroom on the 2nd level. Let me know if you like that better. But this one's going to have 3 bedrooms down. So very rarely do we get to see that. So that's going to continue here. You got the sliding doors inside of your walk-in closet right here. But as I turn you around, this is where it starts. Okay, so this is going to be an additional bedroom, right? But what's really neat about this is as we continue, you see the flex room. So you got your nice bed, nightstand, space for a dresser right there. Not necessarily a walk-in closet, but you know, pretty spacious for a decent wardrobe. Got the accent wall with the ledge. Continue right here. Now, this is where you're going to have your full bath connected to your flex room. So the shower tub combo, beautiful sconce right here, high ceilings, same material as far as the vanity is concerned. The ceramic wood-like tile continues, and look at this. So you have your own little flex room, which means it's flexible, right? You can do whatever you choose with this. If you wanted to have this more of a formal area, if the in-laws are living with you or any guests, but they don't have to come through the front doors. They come through those French doors right there, but you still have access to that courtyard. And here you have the floating shelves, the wood accent continuing all the way to the ceiling, and then the accent wall on the right side. And this will be your single car garage. Now, multiple uses, right? If no one's living here, you can always make this into a nice little gym or something of that nature. Have a treadmill in here or a Stairmaster, a bench and a squat rack, or a Bowflex, right? I haven't heard about that in a while. But I love that you have taller ceilings in here with the recessed lights, beautiful light fixture, and the tall baseboards. So that's a neat function in itself. So like I said, depending on your situation and your living circumstances is really going to depend if that matters to you. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue. Looks like the rain may have stopped. I want to show you the back exterior of the property a little bit later on in the tour, but continuing, look at this, family. I haven't seen the bay windows in a long time, but in here, you see that you have the tray ceilings with the exposed beams, adding a lot of character to it. Then the ceramic tile is in a herringbone pattern right here. So a nice little touch. This will be overlooking your backyard. Goodness. So let me do a full pan for you and show you the full scope of the primary bedroom. You see, you got your king size bed. You got these pendant lights hanging down right above your nightstands, your dresser right over there. Beautiful light fixture hanging down. Very modern and very gorgeous. All right, now continuing here, oversized freestanding soaker tub, porcelain tile, floor to ceiling, recessed lights. Then inside of here, you see you got your glass enclosed walk-in shower with the shower wand, dual sinks right here, LED mirror right there. Look at that, illuminating this entire section. You got the shaker cabinetry, your towel closet right over here with the wire racks, but very sleek and extremely modern. And this being on over an acre, just the icing on the cake, right? You see you got your black shower head, dual shower niches, your water closet over here to the right. The herringbone pattern continues in here. So all the way from the bedroom to your bathroom and then in here. The only thing I would change, of course, is just adding better racks in here. But other than that, the herringbone pattern continues in here. What I really want you to pay attention to is, of course, the size. Is this something that you can fit your entire wardrobe, you and your partner? Is this something you can work with? That's the main function, right? Everything else is cosmetic. You can change that down the road. Now you see you have some additional storage right over here. This will be underneath the staircase. So you see that little slant right there. But you know, plenty of space to store anything you may, whether that's luggage or anything like that. And there you have it. So if you haven't let me know in the comments just yet, let me know what you think about this plan so far. Of course, you do have a second level. We'll get to that right now, but look at the full scope of this. Very nice plan. Okay. Now you have this discrete staircase right here leading you up to the second level. And then if you got a chance to see the Livingston model, you know that that one had the curved staircase. So this one has more of that discreet look for your staircase. And if you want something that is a staple for the home and stands out immediately when you walk in, you probably are going to want to look at that curved staircase. All right, now heading here to your game room, look how spacious it is. That ping pong table can be changed out for a pool table, air hockey table, or you can even add that down the road. Now heading over here, look how much room you have. Massive couch here, plenty of space to entertain. So if you have family or friends downstairs having a good time, you can have some up here as well and not worry about the room. Now right here you have some additional storage. You can see that. Nice little leprechaun door right there. Just kidding, just kidding. But look how roomy and spacious it is. Perfect the way it is. All right, so of course, as always, overlooking our great room, 20-foot ceilings, as you can see. You get a better close-up of the coffer ceiling design. Then you have 2 additional picture windows right there. Look at this. It looks like a balcony. It gives that illusion, you know, but that'll be overlooking that courtyard there. Now heading this way, this is going to be your shared bathroom, of course, with your guests. But you have the shower tub combo in here, quartz countertops, flat panel cabinetry, the herringbone pattern design in here as far as the tiling is concerned. So very minimalistic, very simple in here. Then of course you got your sconce right there, these windows, and you're gonna have the grids in between. And then now looking at the next room. So you have little bunk beds here, but you can see how, you know, relatively decent as far as the space is concerned in here. I'll do a full pan on this angle for you. So you can fit a queen size bed, some small night tables, and then a dresser that's gonna fit perfectly in there. And last but not least, so really you can see the main point of this, of course, is the home, but more importantly, the space that you get inside of Florida. Whenever you think of Florida, you typically, at least in my experience, and you let me know if you agree with me in the comments, you don't think of getting an acre plus. And if you do, you're probably going to be pushed out way out in the country, right? So to be this location, this proximity to the city, and then you have multiple lots in here having over an acre, right? That's very rare. So I know you can appreciate that. Okay, now head into your covered lanai. Nice oversized sliders right here, of course, all right? But heading out here, look at this. So you can open up these sliders all the way right there. There's not like a little pocket there, but you see you have some additional space where you can open this up, have that indoor-outdoor feel. Nice, overly sized as far as your covered lanai, and then that's gonna extend straight ahead over here. So you got your nice outdoor kitchen that you could work with. You got your sink, counter space right here. You got your refrigeration. And look at the room that you get. Wow. You talk about the view, the space that you can work with. This is what I love to see. And then as always, you got your nice pool right here. You got a little putt-putt area. Do some nice little golfing. And that is the back of the property. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful model home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. If you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, make sure you reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.